The bit sequence slicer component is used to separate a sequence of bits in two by defining the slicing intervals of the top and bottom output ports. For this demonstration, we will use a bit sequence generator component that outputs 8 bits, alternating between 0 and 1. This is directly connected to a bit sequence slicer component. The component uses two properties. Output port 1 defines the slicing interval of the top output port, while output port 2 defines the slicing interval of the bottom output port. The input bit sequence will sequentially be sliced by these two intervals, independent to the output of the respective ports. In this example, the first 3 bits will be appended to the top output port, while the following 5 bits will be appended to the bottom output port. Following the calculation of the layout, we can see the resulting bit sequences. The transmitted sequence alternates between 0 and 1 for a length of 8 bits. The top output port contains the first 3 bits of the sequence, while the bottom output port contains the next 5 bits of the sequence. The total slicing interval of this example is 8 bits, which is the summation of the bit sequence slicer parameters. If we increase the sequence length to 16 under the same conditions, the bit sequence slicer will continue slicing the input sequence in intervals of 8 bits until the entire sequence has been parsed. As we can see in the output, the first 3 bits of each segment of 8 bits is appended to the top output, while the latter 5 bits of each segment of 8 bits is appended to the bottom output. The bit sequence padder component is used to pad 2 bit sequences together and operates in a similar manner to the bit sequence slicer. The component also uses two properties. Input port 1 defines the padding interval of the top input port, while input port 2 defines the padding interval of the bottom input port. In this example, we will pad intervals of 3 bits from the top input port with intervals of 5 bits from the bottom input port to recover the transmitted bit sequence. As we can see, the bit sequence padder correctly recovered the bit sequence.